Rob Page is back home in South Wales this evening for one of the biggest days of his life. In the next few minutes, he will name his squad for the World Cup. Hi there, welcome along here on Sky Sports News, and for those of you streaming us on YouTube, it is well documented the Wales haven't had the chance to perform on the biggest of global stages since 1958, but that is about to change. As he's done so many times, Gareth Bale dragged his side over the line in the playoffs. We're expecting him to be the man who leads the side into the finals in Qatar. Like Bale, Joe Allen has been part of the Wales story that's seen them go to 2 successive European Championships. But will he make it this time, having struggled to prove his fitness this season? Well, the answer to that question and a few more is about to be revealed. And we are in great company this evening. Former Wales striker Robert Earnshaw and current Wales defender Esther Morgan with me to give their thoughts on this squad and take a look at the group that pits them against the USA, Iran and England as well. You're both very welcome. I mean, it's very exciting times. Robbie, can you believe that the World Cup is almost upon us? It's a matter of days away.
Yeah, no, it just sprung upon us, really. Yeah, 11 days to go. It's exciting. And do you know what? There's been a lot of talk about the World Cup, but I'm excited for it, you know, because, listen, the World Cup is the biggest tournament in the world. I want us to enjoy it as well, you know, and not just focus on the politics and everything that's negative. For Wales, for example, 64 years since we were in the World Cup. Let's go and enjoy it. Let's see some great football, great games, and remember, it is about football as much as everything else as well.
Esther, I can see you sort of shaking your head in disbelief. It's like we're finally there, but also agreeing with Robbie. What's the vibe? What do you know when you're chatting to your teammates about this?
I think it's just unbelievable. It's obviously us as a woman, we've just failed to qualify, but to have the men there and being on such a big stage is just amazing for the country, really, just to showcase what we've got. And like you guys have just said, it's unbelievable that it's so close to us now, like 11 days to go. We're still playing in the Prem. Like, I kind of can't believe it.
We're not going to break the embargo early, but I think it's pretty clear that Gareth Bale is in this squad, right? I mean, you'd take a 15% fit Gareth Bale to the World Cup, let alone one who's recovering from injury recently. But Joe Allen's fitness has been perhaps the biggest worry for Rob Page in the build-up. Do you think he'll make it, Robbie?
I hope so, because he is as influential as anybody else in terms of he reads the game. His intelligence is so good. He makes everybody connect. And he's the guy who'll steal the ball quietly, pass it to Ramsey to Bale, and then all of a sudden there's that magic. Everybody only talks about the magic, of course, but I think Joe Allen is been so key. I don't think he's actually going to make it because he's not played for Swansea. He's been struggling for injury, but he's probably the one that we will miss the most.
OK, so your mind is saying no at this point. You don't think he'll be in that. So we'll find out in just over a minute's time. And so what other issues do you feel that Rob Page has been wrestling with? What, if anything, has been keeping him up at night as he makes this decision, these 26 players, to join him in Qatar?
Well, I think obviously having the fact that you've got Joe Allen out and who hasn't played, but I think also having Gareth Bale, who's been on limited minutes with LA. Obviously, as much as you want him to be playing and all that, like, he in reality has had limited game time. So I think, as worrying as that is, you know he's going to be there, but it's just whether, like, what level he's going to be at sort of when he's sat there.
Yeah. What do you feel, you know, Rob Page, this is a big moment for Rob Page, isn't it? Briefly, Rob, I mean, you know, for him to be the first man to lead Wales to 2 major tournaments, because Jimmy Page did it in 1958. Of course, it was Chris Coleman in Euro 2016, and this time Rob Page for the last 2. Sorry, Jimmy Murphy in 1958. So, you know, big moment for him, isn't it?
Huge moment, a proud man. I played with him as well, and I know how proud he is. I know how real, deep and special it's going to be for him. And he's going to also enjoy it for the nation as well. He's one of those people that he's unselfish. So we've qualified and he's the manager, but I know inside he's going to be thinking, do you know what, it's for the fans, it's for the people who've not seen this, not seen us go to a World Cup. That's how he is, and that's how he's going to be feeling. So it's going to be special, and really exciting that he's going to lead us out there in Qatar.
OK, so this is the moment. Let's bring in the news that you've been waiting for. The 26-man squad for the Qatar World Cup is in. The headlines are that all of the big experienced names are fit to go. Gareth Bale in, Aaron Ramsey in, and crucially, given the concerns over his fitness of late, 32-year-old Joe Allen is also in. of the other injury worries. Tyler Roberts hasn't made it, but Cardiff City's Rubin Colwill has. Let's take you through the full squad. These are the 26 players who will be representing Wales out in Qatar. The keepers, to start off with, vastly experienced Wayne Hennessey, 106 caps to his name. Not getting the game time at club level with Nottingham Forest, though, at the moment. Danny Ward of Leicester City, he is another of 9 Premier League players in this 26-player squad. Adam Davies of Sheffield United completes the trio of keepers. What about the defenders? Well, Tottenham Ben Davies heads up the list. He is another with tournament experience, of course. Ben Cabango, Tom Lockyer, Joe Rodon, Chris Mepham, Ethan Ampadu, Chris Gunter, Neco Williams and Connor Roberts, all included. On to the midfielders. This has been the subject of some conjecture. As we mentioned, Joe Allen is included. That is the big news, despite the injuries that have hampered him at Swansea City this season. Harry Wilson with Fulham brings that Premier League know-how. Jonny Williams and Aaron Ramsey add more tournament experience. And then 6 forwards complete the lineup. The talisman, the main man, Gareth Bale, will be there to lead from the front in Qatar. Will this be his last tournament with his country? Could he feature at Euro 2024? Don't forget, Kiefer Moore has been scoring for Bournemouth. He's in, so too Brennan Johnson, Dan James, all of those playing in the Premier League. Lots to take in there. We'll hear reaction from Rob and Esther in just a moment as they digest that news. First, let's head to the Rhondda Valley, where Rob Page has been making his announcement. Our senior reporter, Geraint Hughes, is there for us. Good evening to you, Geraint. We know that you've been speaking to Rob Page. We can hear the atmosphere around you. And we're about to hear from Rob Page himself. His big guns are there. Is it a case of no big surprises? Tried, tested and trusted?
He's been telling me for about 10 days, no surprises. But at no stage did I 100% believe him until he told me about the squad. Just quickly see set where we are here now. We're in the Rhondda Valleys. The USA, Wales' first team that they're going to play now at the World Cup. They're lighting up the Empire State Building. We're in the green valleys of Wales, up in the Rhondda Valley. I'm just going to get my ticket for tonight. Can I have my ticket, please?
Welcome to the Welsh squad announcement at Tylerstown Welfare Hall.
Great stuff. Look at this. A ticket to the hottest ticket in town, in Tylerstown here. Just quickly sneak peek, because Rob Page is just through these doors here now. He's doing a Q&A with all the local people. They've been able to apply for tickets here up in the Rhondda Valley. Tylerstown is where Rob Page is from. They're going to talk about the squad, talk about their prospects for the World Cup as well. I've been catching up with Rob a little bit earlier as well. He gave me an advanced copy of the squad as well. And really, I think we knew Gareth Bale and Ramsey were going to be fit. It was about who was going to miss out. First of all, discuss Joe Allen, who, as you say, has made it to the squad.
Joe Allen, we're going to throw everything at him to give him that best opportunity to get in the first game. But it's Joe Allen that's been involved with Wales for years, and he's really important to how I want to play. And so we're going to throw everything at that. So Tyler was a difficult one as well, because I know how much it means to him, and he's a great lad, an absolute great lad. So yeah, that wasn't easy. And Rabbi, Rabbi's, it's been a frustrating time for him. I think Rabbi was playing his best football when he was in Belgium, and I think they've got to look at that. The levels and the leagues will suit different players, and that's as simple as that. So for me, if it had been playing week in, week out, and scoring goals, creating chances like he was in Belgium, it would have been a really difficult decision for me.
Gareth Bale, how fit is he?
Well, I'm not really bothered, Gareth. He's come off the back of scoring a really important goal for LA. He's back in the country. He's fit. Every time he turns up for us, irrespective of how many minutes he's played previously for his club, he's always delivered. So I have no worries whatsoever.
Lovely. So Rob Page there talking about some of the difficult selections and some of the easier selections there for his 26-player squad. Just to give you a sense of what's happening now, as we know, Gareth Bale is already back in Cardiff. He's flown back from the USA. Rob Page is in there now. The squad meets up on Sunday. We'll get to speak to some of the players on Monday, and they fly to Qatar for their first World Cup since 1958 on Tuesday, with that first game now against the USA. It is not long now. 64 years in waiting, soon to come to an end.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, as always, Geraint. All right, let's take a look at this squad in greater depth. Robert and Esther are with me. Esther, obviously a relief that Rob Page can count on, well, we know Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale, but what about Joe Allen in addition to that? How significant is that piece of news?
I think, like Rob said earlier, having him on at least with the squad, is massive. Like, even if he's not going to play, having a character like him who's had so much experience with the squad in terms of being at the Euros and obviously like the vast experience that he's had is massive, just in terms of he can help the younger players with what they need to be doing, but also if he does get a chance to play, he's such a big player for us, and he's like having an extra man in midfield, really.
Yeah, there's a trio of Centurions in terms of caps with Wales: Wayne Hennessey, Chris Gunter and Gareth Bale. Then there's a drop to the sort of 70 cap players: Ben Davies, Aaron Ramsey and Joe Allen. That experience is so crucial. Let's talk about the forward areas, Robbie. We've seen Kiefer Moore lead the line before, but we've also seen Dan James, Brennan Johnson, Gareth Bale sort of share that responsibilities with that sort of bespoke number 9. What's the best option for Wales heading into this World Cup, would you say?
It's been interesting because he's played with a lone striker, and he's played with the front 3, really 2 wide guys who really go wide, as in, you know, maybe Gareth Bale is on the right-hand side mostly, and then Dan James on the left-hand side. Brennan Johnson recently has played as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because there's been times where Kiefer Moore is on the bench and he goes with, you know, does he now go with Gareth Bale up top as a central striker, which he's done before, and he floats and he's going to produce his magic wherever he plays. Dan James, and then I think this is a tournament for somebody like Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
He's playing at Forest, he's getting Premier League game time, but also I see him growing. I saw him a few years ago when he was with the under-21s at Nottingham Forest, and he's still a young boy. But I've seen him over the last couple of years grow, and recently as well. I think it's now about that next, who's going to come out of the shadows of the Bales and the Ramseys now and take us into that next generation. I think Brennan Johnson is probably got to play now. I think he deserves to.
We've still got Bale for this tournament, maybe even for the Euros in 2024. We've got to talk about him. I mean, clearly the man for the big occasion. Showed that in the MLS Cup final for LAFC. Showed that in the playoffs, of course, Austria and then Ukraine. Any worries, though, about him playing games every 4 days? Because remember, this is a condensed tournament with the 32 teams involved. Yeah,
I mean, he's only played, I think it's 28 minutes for LA since he's been out there. And, I mean, it's a bit worrying, that stat, but I think at the same time, you know the experience he has, you know what he can bring, and whether he's starting or not starting, he's got that magic touch that he can just produce the most spectacular things. You look at that free kick against Ukraine and just out of nowhere, he's creating chances left, right and centre. So he's just such a massive player for us. So just to be able to have him out there, I think, is just massive.
Is he underappreciated? I mean, yes, we know how great a player he was, you know, with Spurs and then obviously Real Madrid and even before that. But given what happened at Real Madrid and that whole scenario, is there a feeling of like, oh, hang on a minute, you know, he's not as great as he could have been because of the way that ended?
Do you know, if you really look at Gareth Bale's Real Madrid career, it was spectacular.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Big moments, and even the overhead kick in the final.
Yeah.
And people forget that final, nothing was happening. He comes on and sparks everything. Ronaldo's on the pitch, and all of these guys are on the pitch, but he's the one that made the difference. But he is greatly appreciated in Wales. I think there was a point where it was disappointing for Real Madrid fans to not appreciate him, because what he's done for Real Madrid is been special and spectacular through the years, and it wasn't fair. But listen, he's a great player and a professional. I think the people I played with him, so in the dressing room, he's a joker, and the one thing I always felt was he's ready. Once the ball and the shirt is on, it's like the switch just flicks on, and he's in the playground, let's play. And it doesn't matter what pressure isn't around him. So I think that's what we love about Gareth Bale, that he can handle all of this pressure all around him. Yeah. And on top of that, he's a celebrity, not just a football player. So everything else he handles to deliver, and he's always delivered. He's just got that special talent. And it's just very nice to have seen it, and also to have seen it in the Wales shirt as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for the moment, guys. And in a moment, we're going to be asking Robbie about something that's actually perhaps one of those trivia fact about Robbie Earnshaw is something that's reflected in that in the Wales squad. Well, now we know the 26 men will be heading to Qatar for their first World Cup in 64 years. Up next, we'll look at the group games facing Bale and Co. In this upcoming tournament. Do stay with us whether you're watching us on Sky Sports News or on YouTube.
Discrimination. Let's kick it out.
Welcome back to Sky Sports News and indeed YouTube on the evening that Wales boss Robert Page has named his squad for the Qatar World Cup. The full 26-man party can be seen on our on-screen graphic. You can see it there on the yellow ticker. The headline around injury concerns is that Joe Allen is in. Still has to prove his fitness after a hamstring problem, but Page is satisfied his squad can cope with the challenges of this tournament.
There's still players coming into the squad that, you know, we've never had that pool of players where we've got 40 players that are playing in the Premiership and playing week in, week out. We've never had that luxury. So what we have got now is more and more, at the top of the pitch anyway, certainly, more strength in depth. So you've just alluded to it. Kiefer, I went to watch him at Leeds last week. Chris Mepham playing in the Premiership. You know, you've got DJ, Harry Wilson. You've got Gareth, Aaron. You know, we've now, Brennan, we've now got, when you look over at the bench, we've got a strength in depth that we haven't quite had over recent years.
You talked about managing players. It's a tough schedule. 4 games every 3 games. Do you, every 4 days. Do you have to win that game against the USA?
No, we don't have to win it, but we can't lose. So we did it in the Euros with Switzerland. You know, we go goal behind. Great character for Kiefer to score the goal, and we start the tournament in a positive. So we're going out for the win. And 100%, make no doubts, we're going out for the win. But it's not the end of the world if we don't. We'll build on a draw and take that into the second game. And if we've got 4 points going into the last game, so be it.
So Rob Page and his players are almost there. The squad is picked in just 12 days' time. They will kick off their challenge in Qatar. Robbie Earnshaw and Morgan are still here alongside me. And in terms of this squad, it's an interesting profile across all of the positions because, like you scoring a hat-trick in every division of English football, we have players from every division of English football in this squad. We have League Two players in Chris Gunter and Jonny Williams. What does that say about what Rob Page wants from his players in this squad?
Didn't know that, but very interesting fact. I tell you what it does say. Together stronger is the motto for Wales, and that's what it's been about. It's building that team, and what that includes is the people that might not always play, but they add to the group. Chris Gunter playing the League Two, Jonny Williams playing League Two, but playing very well. And also, you look at Chris Gunter, what is he, 108, 109 caps.
Yeah, the leading appearance maker.
High-level experience. Jonny Williams as well. Also got a good experience. But what it says, it's about that band of brothers spirit. It's about that togetherness. It's about adding the people, the influence off the pitch, in training, day to day. And what people don't see is, you know, when you're in the hotel for a week, couple of weeks, and, you know, you need the people who bring the banter sometimes, who train very well as well, who are professional, who are the first ones to say, hey, come on, like, we need to lift it. You know, maybe you might add a bad performance, but they're the ones who lift the spirit of the camp. Yeah. So I think that's what he's gone for, and that's why no matter what the level, especially those 2 players that I mentioned, he's picked them because it keeps that band of brothers spirit alive and together. And I think that's going to be super important because 2016 was special because it was about this feeling, as much as the football, it was about this feeling of togetherness yeah. And it's keeping that.
OK, we're starting to run out of time, guys. Let's just have a look at the group games as they are. So Wales taking on USA Monday 21st of November, then Iran 25th of November, then England 29th of November. Where are the points going to come from, Esther? Is that first game must win or just more must not lose? I
think you going into a game like that, you can't be going into the mentality that it's a have-to-win game because you end up putting too much pressure on yourselves. But you can't be going into it saying that losing it would be fine either because you're just playing catch-up for the rest of the tournament. I think USA are currently ranked 16th in the world, so there are a couple of spots above us, but it's a game that we can win, and I think there is going to be that belief amongst the group of players that we can win that game. And then obviously going into a run, then you're going in with so much more confidence with a win under your belt rather than a draw, and definitely not a loss, which then you can just keep going throughout the group stage.
Would you fancy a decider against England on the 29th of November in that Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium? I mean, that Wales fans would be well up for that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, do you know, it's all set up nicely. I think, you know, in my opinion, the USA game is the big one, the must win. But they're going to be probably the youngest group, USA, at the World Cup. So I think we've got to capitalise on that. Iran will be interesting. FC Porto striker Taremi, he's there, very, very good. So they'll be dangerous. So I would love us to be in a position that we've already qualified, but it'll be even more special that the last game, Wales v England, it's a decider.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry, England fans. And England lose, I'm sorry.
We'll find out. One other little talking point, I'll say little talking point, it's a major one. This tournament's going to be testing for other reasons, Esther. What about how Rob Page is handling that and how this group will handle that? Because there'll be lots of potential distractions off the pitch.
I think as much as, obviously, it's important that they speak out against these issues and stuff like that, I think it's trying to keep your mind on the football as much as possible. Obviously, we're going to be wearing the One Love armband and having the support like that, but at the end of the day, they're there to play football, and I think it's important that as much as they want to do to support all of the things that are going against other people in the country and stuff like that, it's important to keep your mind on the football on occasions like this.
OK. Guys, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for being here for this big moment as Wales entered their first World Cup for 64 years. Fantastic. Robbie, Esther, great to see you. Thank you once again. Don't forget, over to Gareth Southgate tomorrow. England's World Cup squad announcement from midday. Roy Hodgson's in the studio, and it's 2 p.m. when Gareth Southgate tells us who's in. Right here on Sky Sports News. Don't forget, coming up next, Jules Warren in the chair for another busy soccer special. Stay with us and watch the goals as they go in.